good focus is applied. And now once see if you wanna put hi, sorry. Okay. Hello everybody. How are you doing? Subby. Well, in this live stream, I hope you can see me. It looks like my connection has some sort of trouble. I can see, sorry, I'm just gonna thing on that screen because it doesn't look like it's actually okay, I can see it's working. Hi, sorry for the technical difficulties. Sadly, everybody is on the internet now and everybody is using it for obvious reasons. So yes, buddy, this is going to be relatively short little session, and in that, please let me know if it's working fine, because it seems like the live stream is not really working out the way I wanted. If anybody is on YouTube, then just drop me a line and let me know if it's working fine. I'm gonna do in the meantime trying to reduce the pressure on the system, so I'm trying to lowering the quality a little bit. Okay, thank you. Okay, for as if he says that it's working fine. Okay, I lowered the bit rate, so hopefully I'm gonna give a little bit more breathing space for the connection to build up. Yes, so again because of this poor connection. So welcome everybody. This is going to be a relatively short session, and I'm give you a little bit of help how to see the International Space Station, because I do know that lots of people are probably aware of the International Space Station, but they've never seen it for themselves, which is a shame because it's a beautiful little thing. little thing up there orbiting Earth, and basically anybody can watch it anytime with naked eye. And that's a perfect start to get involved basically with International Space Station things. Okay, so let's cut deep into it. I'm gonna repeat a couple of stuff during this session, like anybody can rewatch this particular video on my channel. So if you missed the beginning, or if you missed the end, or you need to go or something, then you can always get later. Okay, International by the way, on the live feed in there, you're gonna see some live footage from the International Space Station, which is just orbiting Earth as it does all the time. Okay, how can anybody see the space station? I show you. I happen to have okay, actually, first of all, I show you a video first. Probably that's a good way of starting. So this is a video that I have recorded, and in this one you're gonna see me actually capturing the International Space Station with my telescope. And the reason why I'm showing you this video is because at the end I'm gonna grab my phone, because I was just recording myself with my phone, and I'm gonna grab my phone and I'm gonna point it at the International Space Station, and you're gonna see that it's perfectly visible, so anybody can actually spot it with the naked eye. It's the third brightest object after Moon and after planet Venus in the, so you just can't miss it. You know, it's so bright. Once you know exactly the time window, when is it going to start rising, and when is it going to be at its highest point in the sky, all the way to when is it going to disappear. So here I'm gonna grab my phone, and you're gonna see that bright little dot there, that one. So that's the International Space Station, moving very slowly but in a steady pace. You see, obviously I'm a little bit shaky with my camera. I shouldn't be. I just pointed out. So this is the International Space Station. So you can see, if my camera actually could pick it up for the naked eye, this is just a straightaway object. So you can just straight away see it if there at the right time. So okay, so what I first want to clarify is the reason why it can be visible from anywhere on Earth. Okay, so when is always before or after, before sunrise or after sunset. As this self-made picture showing, this is the daytime of Earth, the illuminated side, and this is the nighttime. As this International Space Station, let's say, traveling from left to right, then you're gonna see that the space station is 400 kilometers above Earth. So even though that it's gonna fly above areas which are already in darkness, because it's so high up, basically that's a perfect reason for the sunshine to still illuminate the International Space Station. So with the black background or a dark, so bright that it's very easy to spot. I have another photograph about the topic, a self-made one. This is wrong, because this is obviously not dark because the sunshine coming, but I'm gonna correct it. But the point is that, let's say the observer is in this area, and then the space station is going around the Earth. So you're gonna see that even though when it's about here, you can still see, obviously it's not perfectly accurate, but it's the principle that I'm trying to show you. And this animation is actually pretty cool, because you're gonna see the International Space Station. Just 1 second, I managed to click somewhere else. So you're gonna see the space station basically entering the day side, the shadow of Earth. But you're gonna see, even though when it's above really dark areas, just observe this cargo spacecraft and the solar panel. You see it's already in darkness, but it's still perfectly bright and visible. So that is the main reason why it's observable. Okay, So how can you see? Because this is the whole point of this of today's presentation. I have a website called spacestationguys.com. If you are going to have any kind of interest in the International Space Station story, then this is one way to start. Obviously, you can save all the web pages that I am going to show in the next 10-20 minutes. But that's always a place. If you lost it, or if you're looking for something new, then you can always come and visit my website, because on this web page, there is a new point which is called Guide to Find ISS. So if you click, then you're gonna see that first of all, it's gonna take you to a website. Hopefully today. My internet is definitely not fast at all. I don't know what's going on. Probably is because during the daytime everybody's hanging on it, because everybody's at home. Anyway, so if you're gonna scroll down, so we are at the Guide to Find ISS menu point, and then if you scroll down, this is the live feed I show. This is always fun to watch, because when it's over illuminated area, this HD camera is just staggering. Okay, so the websites I am always using to get any prediction is Heavens Above. So Heavens Above is one of those websites that I really like. If I click on the name, it will take you there. Same with the other, you're gonna see below with the other websites. So once you click on it, that's Heavens Above. First of all, you need to set your location, so you click on the right upper corner. I hope it's visible on the live feed. Welcome everybody who's new. I'm just explaining what's the easiest way to find any kind of prediction for the International Space Station. So once you click on this blue area, then you just choose your location wherever you happen to be. And once you've finished that, you just click on the bottom update. So once you saved everything you need to know, everything the website needs to know about your location, then you go back and then you just simply click here on this little text called ISS, which is standing for International Space Station. So once you click on it, you will see the forecasts, which I have none at the moment, because we just finished not too long ago with the evening passes. So we're gonna enter the morning passes at some point. The good thing, that even though, so you have two options. So first of all, you can see all the passes, but it means that, you see it says on the right hand column, daylight, 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 daylight. So it means that these passes are all happening during the day, which is definitely not for beginners. But there are two arrows here, and you can go back and forth. If I go back, nothing. If I go back again, then you're gonna see the past events, flybys. And then if I go again a bit forward, so these are the dates. So it says between the 29th of April and May. So I'm not going to have anything you will see all the way till the 29th of April. So it's a good 10 more days to start. And then these are straightforward forecasts, I think. So this shows the date on the most left hand side column, and then it shows the brightness. It's you can see how bright the International Space Station is going to get. We have starting time, highest point, and ending time. So it always will show you, if I open one of them, then probably I give you a better idea. So if I click on one, and then you will see on this star chart. So this is a massive help for you, because when you go out and if you have a relatively open sky, then you will see that there are all the constellations here, so you can sort of orientate yourself. Okay, this is for me, this is south, then I know that Big Dipper is going to be somewhere there, which is here. So it helps you to orientate yourself. And then you will see, this is when it becomes visible, where the line begins, you see some time in here. So as the flyby progresses, 3:36, 3:37, 3:38. So this is a perfect way to actually prepare yourself for a flyby. This is more helpful when you are doing photography, but even though if you just go out and you just observe one flyby, and if you want to exactly know where to see because you don't want to miss it, then that's a great help. It's also showing you some times, so these are the times. The altitude is always showing how far from the horizon is it going to fly up to. So basically you can expect, if it's let's say 45 degrees, then you know that the zenith, the 90 degrees is right above you, horizon is 0, so 45 degrees is roughly in between the two. And then obviously if it's 50, 60, 70, 80 degrees, then higher and higher, closer to the highest point right above you. So yes, so these are all the predictions. And one more thing, it's not just showing the time, and the beginning altitude, which direction is it going to come from. So it's in this case SSE, which is southeast, then it's highest point at southeast, and it will disappear at east southeast. So that's a very good way to start. I'm gonna come back for this website because people who might be interested in the Starlink satellites, I'm just gonna touch a little bit of that topic. And then the other one is CalSky. That's more professional. That requires a little bit of getting used to. But if you really want to have accurate flybys, I'm using that for mainly for if I know that the International Space Station is going to fly nearby a planet or the moon or something like that. So you do the setup, same thing again. Basically the website needs to know your precise location. So I already gave mine. You just choose it from the map, and then basically once you finished with that one, then you always scroll down to the bottom and you hit the go button. Once that's done, then the website saved your location. So every single time if you create your profile and you log in, then every single time you can skip this step. But obviously because you just learning it, probably it's not necessary at the moment. And then you just click on satellites up here, and then you go and choose Internet Space Station, and then it will show you all the visible passes that expected. Be careful that here in this section, once you clicked on the International Space Station, here it shows what's the starting date. It will show you all the predictions from, and be careful because it's the select duration, it's 10 seconds. So it's ideal if you choose, in my case I'm gonna choose, let's say 10 days. I know it's gonna start at 10 days, so 2 weeks. So if I press go, then it should show me now all the passes that I can expect. You see that it says yes, so it's not just the flybys, this is showing now all the transits, so anything that's close to the sun or Jupiter or anything like that. But if I scroll even further down, then you see it's not showing, let's say ISS crosses the disk of sun, blah blah blah, twice, double transits. Okay, that actually sounds really interesting because there will be 1 and 2. All right, interesting. Wow. Okay. So, but when you go down, you will see these are just plain numbers. There is no other celestial object involved. So basically, it just shows you when it appears, when it's at the culmination, so it means that when is it at the highest point of the flyby. If it's an arc in the sky, then there's the highest point, and then when is gonna be, how far is it going to be at the highest point, and then when is it going to disappear. So that's another way of dealing with the predictions. Hi Bente, how are you? I just saw you coming in. So hi everybody, whoever just joins right now or shortly, you just joined this live broadcast. I'm basically explaining how to actually get accurate flyby predictions, forecasts for International Space Station. So I'm on my website at the moment, but if you missed any of the previous bits, on the same link you can watch it later on my YouTube channel, Space Station Guys. So the next one is Spot the Station. This is a simpler one. There's probably, I would recommend this and Heavens Above the most, because it's pretty straightforward. So Spot the Station is basically another website. If same thing happens, you just so when you land on the page, you need to start with this map area, and then if I click, let's say this is Central London, you will see if I zoom out, it will give. It's a little bit weird for first time but use, but this is how it is. So I start, let's say, zooming in into London. I live around here, but there's no marker there, so I'm gonna just click on one of these markers, and then it says View Sighting Opportunities. So when I click on it, then it will come and show me the same nothing, because I know we already identified that in the next 10 days there won't be any flyby. It's gonna start at the earliest the 29th. And so here, this is just simple as it is. There's no further information. It's just showing you what and where. This website is particularly good because sometimes there are cargo and human spacecrafts going to the International Space Station and coming home as well. But the most important is when they are not docked to the International Space Station, at the bottom of this page, they're always showing, is it the Cygnus or the HTV or Progress or whatever spacecraft it is, it's always at the bottom of the page. So you can get some flyby information for that as well. And I can tell you, this is super cool to see a size of a car satellite or spacecraft, I'm sorry, that's heading towards the space station. This is just awesome. Okay, so we've done Spot the Station, we've done CalSky, and transits. Why is a transit? When the space station is actually going in front of a celestial object. Obviously the space station is just only 400 kilometers above the Earth. Best case 400 kilometers when it's right above you, but usually it's further away as it goes at its path, and sometimes it goes in front of certain celestial objects, the moon, the sun, planet Venus, planet Jupiter. Obviously anything that's higher in the sky the better, because it means the space station is going to get closer to your location. So this website, it's a straightforward, simple website. The CalSky does the same thing, but this is much more straightforward. So basically I just click on auto detect, so it will automatically detecting my location. And then basically I can set a time frame that when I exactly would like to see any predictions, and then I can set the radius, that how far I want the predictions. So basically how far am I willing to travel to basically see this event. And once you click on it and you accept everything, then you will see these little predictions. And every single one, it shows that basically from my location there will be only one transit, a lunar transit, but the problem is that it's gonna be pretty far away. It's gonna be 1500 kilometers away, 1500 kilometers away. That's everything but ideal. but with the naked, photographically. But for your naked eye, that's you're just gonna see the slim crescent moon, and then the space station. You're just gonna fly in front of it. So you can get more information. So you're gonna have all kinds of informations, angular size and how far is it, what's the elevation of the planet at the transit, so on and so forth. And if you click on this button called Show on the Map, then it will give you a map. The reason why this website is good is because it's not only showing the center line. Center line is if this is the moon. I'm improvising. If this is the moon, then if you're on the center line, it means it's gonna go right in the middle. And more you are closer basically to the edges. Where's my cursor? Here's my cursor. More to the edges, it means it's gonna be more closer to this bit or in the bottom, that bit. So it gives you the path basically where you need to be within, and that's why it's brilliant, because sometimes you don't really want to be in the center line, or your location is, let's say, not right in the center. I can guarantee you 99.9% it's not gonna be on the center line, but you know that how far you can be from the center line to still able to see that phenomena. So if you're ever going to have a transit right in front of the moon, then even with a pair of binoculars, you're gonna see a tiny little object very quickly passing. This website you see here, it says transit duration, so it gives you the duration of the transit time. So this is going to last just a fraction of a second longer than a second. So these things are extremely quick. Okay, so this is I think most of the predictions are done. If you happen to have a smartphone, then I definitely recommend you to have any of these apps. So what I always use is ISS detector. That's a very good application, and you can download it for both iOS and Android phones. Heavens Above application that has an ISS section, and that ISS section will show you all the flybys. The ISS detector is probably better if you do photography as well, because there are some little eye icons, and it's small, medium and large size, and larger the eye icon is in the middle of the app, it means the overall illumination of the International Space Station is better. Also, there are some websites where you can actually track the International Space Station. On the bottom you will see this N2YO and SetFlare. So these two websites actually pretty cool, and you can actually live track where the International Space Station is at any given moment. So here you're gonna see the space station just entered Earth shadow, which is funny because if I show you now this big screen, this one, then you're gonna see that there in that tiny screen in there in there, so there you see the Cygnus, and it's just actually entering Earth shadow right now. So it's actually so accurate. You see, this is why what I explained at the beginning of the video, this is why we can photograph and see the International Space Station, because the International Space Station is at the moment here. You see here just entered just at the bottom of Africa, and if I quickly change it back, you see that the space station is actually now getting into Earth shadow. So you will see that that below is actually pretty dark, but the space station is almost glowing because of the sunshine still can actually illuminate it. So yes, these are pretty cool things. If you are interested in the International Space Station project, then definitely I urge you to have these websites in your mind, you can just, again, you can bookmark it, and or you can, anytime if you need a helping hand, Space Station Guy's website is there for you. So Guide to Find ISS, and you're gonna have all these websites and pages basically at one place. If you're ever going to be interested in photography as well, I'm just gonna touch base basically on this topic. If you have a camera, you can do some really interesting shots. I have a guest photos page as well, sub menu on my website, and probably the easiest way to start with International Space Station, if you have a phone which can do long exposure shots, or if you have a DSLR, any DSLR camera with a small lens, so anything from a fisheye to, I would say, 20-30 millimeter lens. Welcome everybody, by the way, whoever just joins this live broadcast now. I'm talking about how to see the International Space Station with your naked eye. If you missed the beginning or the previous part of the video, on the same link you can, what you are watching now, you can watch it again later. So, and also you can find it on my YouTube channel, so you can just come back and watch it anytime. So with a basic DSLR camera, you can take long exposure photographs. So what is a long exposure photograph? Basically, when you're taking photographs, your shutter during the daytime, because it's so bright, it's always just opens very quickly and closes because there are too much light coming in. But if the sky is dark, if you're in darkness and you can keep your equipment stand still, then it means that you can open up your shutter and you're gonna keep it open for a longer time, 5, 10, 20, 30 seconds, it's up to you, and then it closes. So what it does is during that time it's open and it's gonna keep capturing certain photons that's coming from the sky. So what does it mean? If you have a picture size, let's say your field of view, this is the term what your camera can see, and then you're gonna see this bright spot, this bright spot. The ISS is basically just a bright light, a spot crossing your field of view, because you are open for a longer time. It's basically going to capture as a trail. So that's what we call the ISS trail, and you can capture really amazing photographs. These are, by the way, not my photographs. On my website I do a guest photos area, and here people are just sending in their really awesome photographs, and this is just one part of it. So this is actually a pretty cool photo. This is the ISS here. It was a full pass. It was really nice. But this one, let's say, you see, this is just on so this is with a DSLR camera. It was a 6D camera with a 300 millimeter lens, and that's Venus there, and then the space station just flew right next to it, and this is Pleiades. So even with a small, I would say, even with a smaller DSLR and lens, you can capture some really super great moments. So that's one way of photographing. If you are more interested on, if you happen to have a telescope or if you have a bigger lens, then it's always good to try transits. I mentioned transits, but when it really happens and things come together, you can actually see some pretty awesome moments. So until it will load. So this is in front of the moon. This is obviously a composite photograph, not one shot. This is right in front of Jupiter. It will just come from here. This is from Antonio Wilches, and this is a super nice animation. Also, it can cross the disk of the sun. Let's say, you see, it's a pretty quick event. and yeah, so you know, it's absolutely feasible. There are so many examples how it can be done. And obviously, if you have a telescope, then you can go even further with that, and then you can just snap some closer photographs of the International Space Station. This is not easy. It requires a lot of experience, a lot of practice, but when you nail it, it's actually a pretty sweet thing. So yes, I think that would be it. You can just look around on my website if you want. I have a nicest photo of the month. I just started now in April because I'm keep receiving such epically good photographs that I assumed that probably it's time to create something. I got my own gallery. I'm totally into International Space Station. I photograph it manually, so I'm moving my telescope and I'm actually tracking the space station. So I write about all the events. Apologies. I write about all the events. Guest photos. It's full of talented people's photographs from all over the world. Guide to find ISS. We've been there, and about imaging. I just write a little bit about myself, and then after that I explain exactly how I do the International Space Station imaging. It's pretty cool once you get used to how the forecasts work, and let's not forget that there are humans on board the International Space Station. So this is an orbiting laboratory, and there are, I would say, between 3 and 6, 7 people on board. At the moment, there are 3 space guys up there. Space guys, okay, it's a weird expression. So I would say 1 astronaut and 2 cosmonauts. Cosmonauts, the Russians call the astronauts cosmonauts. So yeah, so there are 3 people up there now, and hopefully next month there will be 2 more coming up with the newest SpaceX Crew Dragon spacecraft on its maiden flight. So yes, please start reading about it. It's pretty cool. My website is always a good starting point if you want to know more about the International Space Station. You can follow me on certain social medias like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. It's very easy because everywhere I am doing my activity under the name Space Station Guys, and also on this YouTube channel I just created. Today I photographed the space station in the sky and nothing is nearby. This was the first time I tried it. I've just shared a video about it about 2 hours ago, or even less. So yes, so thanks for tuning in. I hope you find it very useful, and please share this information with people, because the International Space Station is the one and only space station at the moment. This is an international cooperation, which means that basically countries, they came together and they started working together for a better good, for the benefit of the whole humankind. So yes, this is incredibly good. In the meantime, I just got a comment. Hi Sean. Yes, he says apologies. My throat is giving up on me. Thanks for the info. He says, I have solar transit. I am going to try to capture tomorrow with my heavens of... Oh, sorry. I thought you said heavens above. No, it's a hydrogen alpha telescope. Before I comment that, anybody, if you have any question, please shoot it now. I am extremely happy to answer any of your questions if you have. So yes, with a hydrogen alpha telescope, which sounds extremely interesting. That's something I have never done. So if you manage, Sean, if you manage to take the shot, please let me know, because I have the guest photos section, and I'm more than happy to share that shot if it turns out the way you and probably I am expecting. So let me just show you quickly something, because you were saying, okay, come on. So you were saying that it's a hydrogen alpha. I think I have so far, if I can recall, I have only one hydrogen alpha. So actually, let me just see. No. This is L90. I don't think this is hydrogen alpha, although it looks, no, I don't think it is. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think it is. But I have from there we go. That's from Roger Hutchinson, and this is his input. There we go. So this is how it looks, people. This is how it looks when somebody happened to have a hydrogen alpha telescope. If you don't know what a hydrogen alpha telescope is, it's basically showing the sun at a certain wavelength, because in different wavelength you can see different things on the sun. You can have hydrogen alpha, calcium, I forgot that, I think it's just a calcium filter. You can have a Bader solar filter, you can have a Herschel wedge. So they are all showing it in different wavelength. And the difference is that with the basic Bader solar filter, you only gonna see, I'll show you, you only should see this whitish disc like this. So you see, this is, you can see some level of granulation on the sun, but not really. That's more for sunspots. But and I think this is not hydrogen alpha. This is just a very over processed photograph. But when you have a hydrogen alpha filter telescope, a Lund or a Coronado, or just buy the filters, which is on my bucket list at some point, then you can take these kind of shots. So you can see the solar panels, the individual. There are 4 pairs of solar panels, plus the main body, the main structure of the space station, and some of these sunspots as well. This is how they look at hydrogen alpha. So yeah, that's definitely something that I hope Sean is going to manage to capture. I hope, Sean, that your attempt is not going to be ruined by let's say clouds or some other unknown error. So yes, please, if you happen to be successful, let me know, definitely. So I'm gonna wait a couple of minutes, and if nobody else has any question, then I am going to just call it a quick session. And yeah. Okay, Azif just wrote me, I have ordered a 10-inch telescope to have a go at this, but before I commit to a specialized camera and teleview lens, is it worth trying out using a DSLR and a Barlow lens? Alex. Okay, Alex, thank you. Yes, okay, definitely. So my principle was always every practice is useful. Every practice you can learn something from, and the principle is the same. It doesn't matter if you're gonna put an eyepiece, or if you're gonna put a DSLR camera, or a webcam, or a proper planetary camera. The principle is the same. And what I think the photography is just the icing on the cake, because what you need to learn from the beginning is basically how to align your finder scope or tail rod or red dot finder, which basically helps you to aim with the telescope, how to dead accurately align it with your and then basically this motion, how you are tracking the sky. So yes, I probably it's a very good idea even with a DSLR camera that you, let's say, practicing on aircrafts. Very useful. I found it very useful. Again, same principle, and you can play with the alignment. You can work on how is the easiest and the most straightforward for you. Practice is massively important. I cannot highlight how important. If you just observe it visually, very important to practice, because once you're gonna have something really good opportunity, and if you're gonna mess it up with just by the fact that you forgot something, then it's annoying. I can tell you from my own experience. So when you're rushing, I know it's very easy to make mistakes, like, I know it sounds trivial, but leaving the button of mask on, or not actually pressing the record button either on DSLR or on a laptop. It's massively annoying that you tap there and you think that you pressed it and you track the whole thing, and then you look down and you want to stop it and you see it never started in the first place. Or with DSLR, let's say a couple of minutes before the pass, I double checked again that wherever I'm pointing, whatever a star I'm pointing, it's still, when it's in the middle of my tail rod, then it's gonna be apparent on my screen. So I pushed up the ISO and then I forget to push it back. So things like that. So how I do it, I've never been in the army because I'm young enough for that. Sorry, I just missed that time. But for me, astronomy and perfectly this kind of photography was my army training. And why? It's because it makes you organized. It makes you highly organized. You are preparing for certain events for days, and then just do a silly mistake, missing it is super annoying. Then you just ask yourself, why are you doing this if you're not paying full attention? So, okay, in a very long way, I'm trying to explain that, yes, practice, even with the DSLR, it's gonna be useful in the long run. And it's only for your benefit if you're gonna keep on practicing. So, yes, I encourage you to keep on practicing. And I hope you're gonna, I don't know if you already bought your 10-inch telescope or okay, so you have, I think, if I understand you well, you already bought your 10-inch telescope, but before you commit yourself to a specialized camera and teleview. Okay, gotcha. Yes, and definitely, even if you buy the camera, if you don't have, I definitely wouldn't start with the teleview, because even with prime focus, so only when just the camera attached to the telescope, that's gonna be massively challenging. Okay, I'm gonna still wait for some questions, but in the meantime, I know it's not ISS related, but it's the same principle to see the Starlink satellites, and I'm just gonna show you a couple of things about it very quickly, because A, it's interesting, B, I know it's annoying a whole lot of us, because we are kind of a little bit fed up with Elon. You're welcome, Alex. You're welcome. And so it's very useful to actually know that when is it going to visible. So if you go back to Heavens Above, and if you're gonna go to daily predictions for brighter satellites, then it will show you exactly when the Starlink satellites gonna be visible. So here tonight we are going to have a swarm. You're gonna see from here from the designated numbers. These are 1.9, the predicted brightness. I've seen them yesterday, and probably these are the brightest satellites, Starlink satellites, since they started doing these launches. So these are the highlighted passes. There are so many of them. You see all the way here. These are all satellites, all Starlink satellites, and they all gonna cross our sky from basically from sunset all the way down. Oh, sorry. Oh, no. Sorry, I'm not showing you what you need to see. I do apologize. So, yes. So, again, apologies. So, heavens above, and then daily predictions for brightest satellites, which is this one. And then when you click on it, then here are all the Starlink satellites. But I found today, Gary Powers just shared with me an amazingly good page, and probably this is so good because it's very interactive. So you open this web page called I'm gonna put this in the comment section, and so yes, you open this website, and you see you can set your own street view, and it will show you. This is so damn clever, and it will show you all these satellites as they are passing your sky. So basically, it is giving you a perfect visual, not just forecast, but it's visually showing you which part of the sky gonna cross, even from your own street, which is mind-blowing. And then on the left-hand side, you can choose certain times. So these are different Starlink satellites. There will be quite a few. This is a Titan. I think it's a rocket booster. Titan. So all kinds of objects. It's basically showing to us. So it's a pretty damn good web page if you are interested, or you want to see the Starlink satellites, but you probably have never seen it before. So I can only recommend you. I'm just gonna paste which I'm gonna end very soon. But once this, I'm just gonna put it in the description, so you can use it for your own entertainment. So yes, thank you very much for everybody who's tuning in. Thank you, Bente, Sean, and Alex for your questions, and just to say hi. And basically, well, I wish you good luck, and I hope you're gonna be able to observe the International Space Station. This is the coolest thing that we've ever built. So yeah, see it for yourself. It's pretty damn good. So good luck, guys, and I will see you soon. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do that, because I have some pretty cool materials coming out. And also I'm on Patreon, just in case if you like the content, you can always support me on the space station, guys. Thank you very much, guys, and have yourself an amazing